Okay, hey everybody. Welcome to Monday. I hope everybody's weekends were fabulous. I had a pretty sweet weekend. It was kind of fast, but I went down to my alma mater, as some of you saw on social media. I went to a Purdue game. It was an absolute blast. It's been a hot minute since I've been down to West Lafayette, so it was really good to be home. Some of you have already graduated from college and you understand what it's like to be on your old campus where some of the best memories you've ever had are there. So it was so awesome being back at Purdue this weekend. And don't worry, all of the people that I know there that know that I'm working at Notre Dame now are like, "What are you doing in Notre Dame?" And they gave me a lot of crap for it. So that was my positivity of the weekend, and I want you to come up with whatever sort of in the past 24 hours, what have you done that has, made you happy, made you smile, that you can put yourself in the right shoes to be able to take the most in on this next 15 minutes. I know this is going to be a shorter live than normal, but there's a reason. We actually have practice at 3, so I'm going to have to make this one a quick one, but I have so much awesome stuff for you, so let's just get at it. Remember, what's your positivity from the past 24 hours? Get yourself in the right headspace, and let's get going, okay? All right, so shared my positivity. Second thing I want to share with you is at the very end of this live, I'm actually going to share a question that I've gotten from an actual softball dad from a girl who I work with online training. Her dad asked me a question, and I want to end every single live that I do with some sort of a question that either a parent or a player that are playing softball, obviously, or a coach as well, has asked me, and the reason why I want to share this with everyone is my response is because if one person has a question, they're probably not the only one on this planet that has a specific question. So I want to actually answer it live. I've actually answered it to him, I think, in person already, but I want to announce the question live so that whoever has this same exact question can get a response in real time, and be able to share with the people that maybe have the same exact question and share the answer with them. So that's what I'm going to end with. But for now, I'm going to talk about the 3 things that, a lot of girls, when they come to camps or they come to clinics or even lessons sometimes, they walk into the room or into the situation and they're nervous. And you can just tell, like on their faces, they're just like, I don't know what to expect. I have no idea what's about to happen. And a lot of girls walk into camps very nervous. And honestly, I'm sure at some point we've all been nervous at some point in our life. And most of the time when we're nervous, it's because we don't know what the outcome's going to be. We don't know what to expect. For example, at a camp, you don't know what to expect the next 3 hours. You know that you're going to be doing some tough stuff, but you don't know specifically what it is. So I want to shed a little bit of light on how you can approach your next camp in a way where you're ready, you're excited. The nerves are more like butterflies that opportunities can come from. So I'm going to share with you 3 things that when you walk into a camp, how can you make it better? How can you walk in, instead of scared, be excited? So for those, honestly, the reason why I'm talking about this is because I'm actually hosting a hitting clinic on Saturday in Fort Wayne, and I'm super pumped about it. So I'm basically prepping those girls, those 30 girls that are going to be there for, what to expect with me is, most coaches are going to give you a jam-packed 2 or 3 hour camp. And yes, it's okay to have butterflies. It's okay to be nervous or excited. But I want to make sure that you get the most out of the experience that's about to happen to you. So in order to do that, I would say number 1 is go into every camp, clinic, lesson, whatever it is, with an open mind. Go in with an open mind, knowing that the person that's giving you advice for the next 2 hours or 3 hours, or whoever's helping them, they are ahead of you. They are more advanced than you in whatever area it is that you're doing. So for example, I'm doing a hitting clinic. I really hope, and I know that I'm going to have a little more insight on hitting than the girls that are showing up. And with that, if you're the girl showing up, understand that the coach that is there knows more than you, and be open to the things that they're saying. I can't tell you how many times I've done a camp or a lesson and I'm cueing someone to do something, to try something new, and I get an immediate my other coach told me not to do that, or oh, I already tried that and it didn't work for me a couple years ago. And honestly, like, yes, I'm giving you the insight that I have from my experience, and you don't have to go home and do all these things. But what I do ask is that you come with an open mind, knowing that, maybe you did try this one time, or maybe your teammate tried it and didn't like it one time. But honestly, I want you to try it in the setting that I'm giving it to you. And I want you to be open to any and all tips, tricks, insight, anything that I'm giving you, and I want you to do it. Don't just say that, oh, I'm set up for failure because I've already tried this and I didn't like it. No, I want to challenge you. My job is to challenge you. So if you're going to a camp and you're a little uncomfortable trying something new, understand that if you're going with an open mind to hopefully learn something, I want you to do exactly what I tell you to do. And again, it may not work the way you want it to. It may not work for, the person next to you, but the thing is, you've learned by trying it that maybe that's not something you want to do. I don't want you to become a hitter like me. I am almost 6 foot tall, I have super long limbs, and some drills that work for me are maybe not going to work for someone who's shorter in stature or doesn't have as long of arms as I do. And that's the beauty of the game, is everybody is their own human being. So just because a certain drill doesn't work for you doesn't mean that, or you feel like it doesn't work for you, doesn't mean that it actually won't. And you won't know unless you try. So go into any setting with an open mind, knowing, you know what, I don't know what she's going to give me, but I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And that's leading me into number 2 is, one, you're going to go to this camp, you're going to go to this clinic with an open mind, not knowing what to expect, but doing the best that you can. Number 2 is to do everything that you're asked to the best of your ability. You will not know your potential unless you go at it 100% or go all in at that thing. If you go, like I said earlier, if you go into some sort of drill that you're asked to do and you're like, I don't think it's going to help me, and you only tried about 50%, you do not know the potential that drill could have for you. So go at every single thing with the 100% mentality, with the I'm going home with as much as I can possibly take in. And the only way that you do that is if you go at everything 100%. Nothing is more pleasing to a coach in an environment like that than girls who go all out in every single thing they do. Do you want to become a favorite on your team? If you're not a favorite, and that's the thing, there are no favorites in most situations. There are no favorites, but the people that hustle, the people that do the things that they're asked to do, the ones that are good teammates, these are the people that are going to be mentally, subconsciously favorites in coaches' eyes because they're doing what they're told. They're doing what they're asked to do to the best of their ability. The people, if you ever felt like you're not the favorite, or, oh man, my coach doesn't like me, are you going at everything at 100%? You can do some mental check-ins and be like, okay, coach was mad at me the other day. Why was he mad at me? Oh, maybe it was because I was jogging to first base instead of sprinting through it at practice. Maybe it was because I was being a bad teammate to someone else and was being envious of what she was doing, so therefore I was being rude to her. These are the things that separate you from either being a favorite on the team or someone that a coach might overlook when it comes to putting together a lineup if you don't show up to the best of your ability and show up that with the all-in mentality. Those are the people that when you're in a setting, and let's talk about a camp or a practice or something else. If you're in a setting where it's uncomfortable and you don't go in with an all-in mentality, you are either going to be stagnant or come out of this situation worse than when you started. And this is where I want to be real here. If you go into an environment that's uncomfortable, that you're asked to do things that you at first don't really want to do, but you go in 100%, you will be surprised how much you've grown from that opportunity. You would be surprised that in that 2-hour clinic, how good you just walked out because you simply went all in on every single drill, every single competition, every single whatever this coach has you do with 100% mentality. You will become way better than you even anticipated at the end. You will come out of this clinic or camp or whatever you're signed up for so much better than when you started, almost feeling like you're an entirely different athlete because of how hard you just worked in that moment. So number 2, go do everything. you are asked to do to the best of your ability, and you will surprise yourself at how much you've grown from that opportunity. All right, lastly, number 3, find somebody at this camp, clinic, lesson, whatever, find somebody to compete against and work to outwork them. Okay, I've talked about this in another live. I think it was like when we talked about competition, and I went really deep into the book What Drives Winning by Ledbetter. I'll just pull it out just in case you guys want a really good treat. If you're looking for books to read, coaches, players, anybody involved in sports, What Drives Winning is an amazing book. So I actually did a live that you can find on my YouTube channel. If you want to dig deep on just the whole aspect of competition, you can find it just by typing in Ashley Burkhart on YouTube. You'll be able to find it. I think it's called 5 Ways to Build Competitiveness. So that's the one that I talked about. But this one is definitely something I wanted to hone in on today, because if you find somebody at this camp, and here's the thing, they need to be at either your level, and you'll be able to tell. Like when it comes down to it, you'll be able to tell who at the camp is someone that you know you can compete against and compete well with, or maybe it's somebody that's slightly better than you and you can tell. Go find that person, and don't go up to them and be like, I'm competing against you today. No need. 2 competitors walk into a room, they already know for a fact they're going to be competing, okay? You don't have to walk up to them and say, hey, we're going to compete against each other. Nope. I just want you to find somebody that's either at your level or hopefully slightly better than you, and I want you to outwork that person, because if they're going all in on every single drill that they're doing, and you're like, okay, I need to outwork them at this drill, what are they doing? Are they, when we're picking up balls, are they just taking their time to pick up balls, or are they rapidly picking up balls because they know every single second matters in this 2-hour clinic, so they're going to pick up balls quick so they can get more swings in? Are they doing that? If they are, go pick up balls faster than them. Just find little things, little competitions within the big setting of a camp, and work to outwork the people around you, okay? That's not a comparison game. It's simply I'm going to elevate the standard of the room. And honestly, when you're doing that, I guarantee you there's going to be people that are following you and looking at you and being like, wow, she's picking up balls so fast. Okay, I'm going to do that too. It's just how it's human nature. We want to compete. So if you compete at a high level, if you want to compete at a high level, you have to be able to elevate your standard by finding somebody that might be slightly better than you and work to outwork that person. Because you will see, again, how much you've grown through that 2-hour clinic simply by trying your hardest. That was number 2. Going in with an open mind, knowing that not everything's probably going to go perfect, not everything's going to be nice and easy, smooth as butter, but it will be tough. And if you go in with an open mind, you're going to come out with a lot. And then number 3 is find somebody to compete against. If you do that, if you find somebody and you internally want to beat them at everything that you're doing, you will find this inner drive that will help you in a game. You will find this inner drive where you're up against somebody, a pitcher, let's say that's a really good pitcher, and that type of environment that you were at the camp, that you were just at this camp in, you're now against a really tough pitcher, and boom, you already have practiced a mentality of outworking people. If that pitcher takes 1 rep off, you better be on that rep, because who knows, that 1 rep, that 1 pitch might be the deal breaker between a win and a loss. So if you are practicing this type of mentality at a clinic or a camp, you are then more prepared in a game. Okay, so one final review. Things to do at a camp to make sure you're not going in with nerves, but excitement is always going with an open mind. Do everything that you're asked to the best of your ability, and find somebody at equal or better talent than you to compete against and to win at everything. Make everything a competition and work to outwork them. And you'll see how much you're gonna grow from that experience. Fearless Fast Pitch said, attitude and effort is 100% controllable. Absolutely. Half of these lives, if not all of them, I'm always talking about things that you can control. You can't control how hard somebody else works, but you can control if you outwork them. Okay? You can't control somebody that's next to you that's not trying at any of the drills, but you can control maybe you going up to them and being like, hey, this is what Ashley wants us to do. We're going to work hard at it together. Let's do this. Just like one of the stories that I said last week about one of the girls that I worked with. It was awesome. You can't control anybody else's effort but your own. So control that. And then obviously control the fact that you're going in with an open mind. Go in with the mentality that you're going to learn a lot, and you will. If you go in with the mentality like, oh, another clinic my parents signed me up for, there's no way I'm going to learn anything, I already know everything, then you won't learn anything in that situation. But if you go in with an open mind and you say, I'm going to take in as much as I possibly can, I'm going to bring my journal, so every time we have a water break, I write down the things that I've learned. That's like the prime and ideal way to go into situations like this. So be that person. Be the person that's willing to take notes, willing to go all in, willing to find somebody to compete against, and do it to the best of your ability. Okay, so last and final thing, I don't know what time I'm at right now. Okay, good. I just need to make sure that I'm done by 2:30 at the latest so I can get to practice. But Travis Andrews, he asked me a question, and it has to do with home runs. So one of the first, I think, IGTV videos I ever posted on Instagram was about a step-by-step process you can create to hit your first home run. And I think I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that here in the future. But I love this question that he had. And again, he's one of the dads of my online training students. And I know that if he has this question, so many other people might. And I've actually heard this question at another point in time too. He said, what bad can come from hitting that first home run? So let's say you're working really hard for it and boom, that home run happens. What bad can come from that? He also said something, example, start popping everything up because you want to hit another home run. And then he said, what's the root cause of this, and what steps can you take to remain humbled after the first dinger? Okay, I think this is a great question, and I love this question because half the girls where I goal set with them, I always say we want to create goals that you've never done before, but you're so excited to hopefully one day do. Home run is one of the first things that comes to mind with most of the athletes that I work with. So this one is definitely going to pertain to a lot of people, but in anything, this doesn't have to just pertain to a home run. It could be any sort of goal that you hit, that you do. So he said, what bad can come from hitting that first home run? And he was right. If you hit your first home run, it goes over the fence, and you don't really know specifically what went into it, like where specifically on the ball you hit it, where maybe it was pitched, you as a human being are going to want to recreate the home run. Okay? That's how we are. If you do something spectacular and amazing, our job is to try to keep doing that and try to figure out, okay, how can I do that again? So let's say you hit your very first home run, and then every at-bat after that, I think this is what he's asking, every at-bat after that, you're trying to elevate it. You're trying to lift it so it goes over the fence because you've done it before, you're going to try to do it again, right? So that's something that a lot of people do. Is like when they hit their first home run and the ball goes over the fence, all of a sudden people start to dip because they're like, I think that's what went into that home run. And in reality, that's probably not what you did at all. You were not thinking home run when you hit your home run. I think every single home run that I hit, not one of them was I planning or trying to hit a home run. That was never my mentality, and I hit a ton of home runs in high school. I hit a ton of home runs in college. I hit a few in pro, and not one of them was I trying to hit a home run, even though I had hit a bunch in the past. So if you do hit your first home run, the worst thing you can do is try to hit another one, okay? The best thing that you can do is literally after you hit the first home run, and I talk about journaling all the time. People are going to roll their eyes right now. I don't even care. You whip out a journal and you write down specifically the things that you remember from that home run. You write down, what did your bat feel like? Did it feel like a feather? Did it feel like you were gripping pretty tight? The first one's the answer, probably. The second thing you write down, did it feel like you used your legs more than anything? Hopefully. Did it feel like you knew exactly where that pitch was? High and inside, low and inside. Where was the pitch? Write it down. Write down specifics. What team were you playing? What pitcher, if you know, who was pitching? Was she good? Was she fast? Was she slow? Like, write down all of the scenario of the home run so that there, one, you can remember what that felt like and try to recreate all the things that you did. And two, I also want you to write down, what did you do to prepare for that? What did you do this past week at practice to prepare for that? What have you done the past month, the past year in preparation for that first home run that you hit? And if it's like this long list of, I hit 4 times a week with my dad, we always worked on the pitches that I was struggling with, or whatever you did to prepare for that home run, whatever you remember went into that home run, which I'm telling you they're going to flood in as soon as it happens. Write those things down because, again, you want to recreate the home run without trying to hit the home run. So whatever it took to go into that first home run, your job is to keep doing those things that made that home run happen. So Travis, this was an amazing question. I absolutely loved it. And he said, what's the root cause and why? What steps can you take to remain humbled after the first dinger? Exactly what I was saying. Write in your journal first home run and what went into it. And then every home run after that, keep writing down notes. You will find that there's a pattern between all of your best at-bats. Maybe you woke up and ate a healthy breakfast for every single one of them. Maybe you didn't. But you will be able to see the patterns that go into your best at-bats if you log them, if you log your best at-bats down. So that's a tactic you can do after you hit your first home run to help recreate another home run after that. So if that's something that works for you, I would totally love it if you messaged me and said that worked for you. I'm only speaking from experience on these things. I'm only speaking from the coaching perspective that I have with my athletes that I have now. Multiple girls that I've worked with had the goals of hitting a home run. And when they did it, when they told me, Ashley, I did it, I hit my home run, the first thing I said, obviously, was congrats. You worked your butt off for that. Congrats, it's amazing. Second thing, I always told them to journal about it. Journal about what went into it before, during, and after the moment so they can help try to remember what went into that moment so they can recreate it, okay? The worst thing, like I said earlier, the worst thing you can do to hit, let's say your second home run after you've hit the first one, is to try to hit a home run. You should always be shooting for line drives. Hard line drives are what lead to home runs, not you and your mentality thinking, I'm thinking home run, I'm thinking home run. Whenever I did that, I popped up, okay? So that was an amazing question. Thank you so much, Travis, for asking it. I absolutely loved it. Last thing I want to mention is this week, so like I said, I'm doing this live about camps and how to have the best mindset going into camps is because I have one on Saturday. And if you guys live anywhere near Fort Wayne, I know some people that are driving a couple hours, actually a couple more than that, to come to this clinic. It's simply hitting, it's all hitting. There's 2 sessions, an early morning for the 8 to 12-year-olds and then a later session for 2 hours with 13 to 18-year-olds. If you guys are interested in that, head to ashleybtraining.com. These are chances, these are opportunities to work with me, and I can't wait to work with a few of you. Leah, I cannot get to your question because I have to run to practice, but I will totally get back to you and maybe even share this question on live next time. But that's a great question. With that, I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your Monday. I love doing these lives. I will see you next week. I'm actually going to be in Mexico next week during the live. And I want everybody that's inside my SMASHTRIBE Facebook group to pay attention to a question that I'm going to ask you this week. I want you to have control over what live I talk about next week. So if you guys are on Facebook, go to my SMASHTRIBE Facebook group, look for a question from me. I think it's either going to be a poll or choose one. I'm going to have a couple topics or a few topics that I want to talk about, but I want you guys to decide what I'm doing. So if you're not a member of my SMASHTRIBE Facebook group, you can run over there quickly and go see all of the things that I posted in there. Other than that, have an amazing Monday. You guys are incredible, and I hope to see, and I know I'll see some of you guys this Saturday, and I'm so excited. Okay, DM me if you have any questions about it, and y'all are incredible. Bye.